I was recently reviewing some of my old algorithms that I had written on Free Code Camp. Ever since the recent update a few months back, they changed it so you could no longer return to the algorithm and see what you had written in the first time, even though I believe all your data is actually stored somewhere. I have had a lot of trouble trying to access that. So I just decided to redo them and document my process and record those in a separate external JavaScript file for future reference. So this first algorithm is pretty simple. We were trying to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit by taking a function with a parameter of Celsius and then returning the value in Fahrenheit. So you basically just have to take your input value, multiply it by 9/5, and then add 32 to it. And as you can see, for some reason I was really confused as to why I wasn't or why I was getting all these errors, and it was telling me that Celsius was not defined. And this is very common in that you see people, and I do this all the time, and I've seen other people do this all the time, but you make little tiny mistakes in the spelling. So like right here I noticed I used a C instead of an S. So after fixing that, all of my code worked. Alright, so I've copied all my code over to an external JavaScript file. And I set up the basic function to work using just one example. What I wanted to do is take all of the tests that were present in Free Code Camp and make sure that those are all working in my external file. So I had just copied over the return values. And now I'm going to update all these to match. Alright, I got all my values updated, so now I'm going to delete the stuff I had copied from Free Code Camp. And right there you notice I have a linter installed, which tells me where there's some errors in my code. So I come up here and clean up my code a little bit to make it a little nicer. And now I wanted to change my outputs just to give a little feedback as to what I'm converting on the screen. So I'm going to add a short string before and after the function is called in my console logs to clean up the output just a little bit. So now I'm going to do this to all 5 of my tests. But before I do that, I just want to test it to see what it looks like, and here we go. It gives me a little input that 0 in Celsius is equal to -32 in Fahrenheit. Not the best, I admit, but it's functional. And also I noticed there's a little space I wanted to add after the function is called. So I quickly change all the different strings to match the appropriate values. And then I run my code again, and there we go. And I noticed here that I forgot the in Fahrenheit at the end of the last 4 functions, so I can just copy it over. And if you've never used Sublime before, you can hold down the command or control key. That's allows you to select multiple places at once, and you can fill in multiple lines at the same time. You can see now that I have all 5 of my outputs looking good for all my test functions, and I'm done with this one. So thank you for watching. I hope this was informative, and hopefully I will get to the remainder of these JavaScript algorithms over the next few weeks. Thank you for watching.